Hi everybody, it's Shivangani here, checking in. I hope you've all had a really good weekend, getting excited into the new upcoming weekend. I'm good. I'm really happy that it's finally warm in New York. It has been horribly cold for May and it was rainy all of last weekend, so I'm really glad that it's nice and toasty. And we've got BeautyCon this weekend in New York. We're so excited about it. So definitely come to our booth. We have a henna tattoo artist, so you can get some really fun henna done. And we've also giving out free flower crowns, which everybody loves. I love putting flowers in my hair. Anyway, so as promised, we are finally talking about labels, which is going to be simpler and actually less scary than it comes across. So, number one rule for labels, when read them, I mean, it's really that simple. Read them, and if you can't pronounce what's written on your label, then don't buy it. If you can't pronounce it, you don't understand it, you don't have the time to look it up, don't buy it. Do the research and then figure out whether it's going to be good for your skin or not. Now, most of the time, the ingredients are listed on there. They're not going to be incredibly harmful for you straight away, and there's not going to be intense damage. But I always think I am always someone who always wants to know what's going on her face or inside of my body, or so just so being aware is always better. So even if you're making a mistake or you're choosing to ignore it, at least somewhere in your mind, you know what's going on. So that's rule number one. Rule number two, or kind of, I guess, a fact, is the way that the FDA regulates personal care products is that any ingredient that's less than 1% of a company's product in the formulation is actually not required to be listed on the label what that ingredient is. It can be put in as other ingredients. They don't have to put anything. So a lot of times when you see a product and you're buying that says all natural or things like that, it's you might not know what it doesn't have. So my suggestion is always to push and push and push either the salespeople or the company that you're buying the product from. Ask them about this. You never know what you might discover. And the third thing, which is also a fact, maybe you didn't know, sort of thing, is if a company deems an ingredient as a trade secret. So whatever XYZ ingredient is so critical to their formula, but it's a secret. They don't want the other company's competition to know about it. So they can actually apply for this not to be listed on the ingredient list and be put as other ingredients under other ingredients. So obviously the FDA is not going to allow the company to put, a trade secret ingredient that's going to be harmful for people. And obviously, I'd imagine they'd have to do tests and stuff like that. But I think the idea, what I'm sort of getting at, is you don't always know what's in your face wash. And I think when you're putting things, or not just face wash, but your products in general, and I always believe it's so important to know what you're putting onto your body, because not everything that seeps in is not always going to be harmful, and it's the doses and things like that. I'm not, by a hippie by any standard or anything like that, but I just really think it's important to know what's what you're putting and just aware of everything. So that's actually really it with labels. If you saw our Instagram video and that's how you arrived to this video, we saw that really funny 30-second clip of people trying to pronounce ingredients. So, three things to remember, really. If you can't pronounce it, don't understand it, don't have time to research, buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't. And then after you do the research, then purchase it if you're comfortable with everything. Two, know that companies that have ingredients that are less than 1% of their formula are not required to put it on there. And you can actually look this up on the FDA website. If you Google FDA label regulations for cosmetics, this will pop up. And the third thing is, if something is deemed as a trade secret, the company can't put it under other ingredients. So I hope this was very useful. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about acne ingredients and how companies sort of have similar ingredients or they don't, and it'll be a little interesting. It's sort of leading into what we talk about with labels. So I hope you have a great weekend, And I hope if you're in New York, you're coming to BeautyCon and definitely come to the Feather and Bone booth and get your free flower crown. And I will see you next week. Bye.